Welcome back to the Alien Psyche channel. I was 12 years old when I had the first one. A dream that didn't feel like a dream at all. I was lying in bed, stiff, frozen. The room was dark, but something was off. There was a humming, low and electric, coming from somewhere above. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw them. Tall, thin, perfectly still, three of them. Silhouetted in the dim glow of my nightlight, their heads too large, their arms too long. They didn't move, but I felt them. In my mind, no sound, just one thought pressed into my skull like a whisper made of weight. You will forget. I woke up gasping. My family said it was sleep paralysis, just a nightmare. But here's the thing, I'd never even heard of aliens. I'd never watched a sci-fi movie. And yet, the details, the eyes, the feeling, it was real. I buried it for years, until I stumbled on a story from a man in Argentina who described the exact same dream. Same lights, same paralysis, same eyes watching. He didn't know me, didn't speak my language, but we dreamed the same nightmare. And that's when I realized this wasn't just a story. It was happening to thousands of people. Doctors call it sleep paralysis. Psychologists say it's a stress response, a hallucination produced by the brain when we're caught between sleep and waking. But that doesn't explain why we all see the same thing. Why do so many people describe being frozen in bed with long, shadowy figures standing at the foot of the mattress? Why do we all report the same lights, the same silence, the same rising sensation? You'd expect dreams to be personal, unique. But this one, it spreads. From continent to continent, person to person, culture to culture, the dream is identical. A man in Norway dreams of being taken by beings with smooth gray skin. A woman in Japan sees a glowing orb float into her room before losing time. A boy in Nigeria screams in the night, describing the black-eyed men who walk through walls, and they've never met each other. Researchers like Bud Hopkins and Dr. John Mack spent decades interviewing people who've had these encounters. And whether you believe in aliens or not, the consistency is undeniable. These dreams don't feel like dreams. They feel like something inserted into the brain. A program. A memory not meant to stay. Some even report seeing strange symbols burned into their vision, glyphs or codes they don't understand, but recognize. And many wake up with physical signs, scratches, nosebleeds, time gaps they can't explain. It's as if something or someone is accessing the human mind across the globe, using dreams as the delivery system. Theories vary. Some say it's mass hysteria. Others believe in Jung's theory of a collective unconscious, a shared library of archetypes and fears we're all connected to. And then there's the darker theory, that this is a test run. That something non-human is already linked to our dream state, studying how we react, what we fear, and how far we can be pushed without waking up. Because once you've seen their faces in your dreams, they don't leave. You never forget. Not really. You just stop talking about it. But what if that's the point? What if these dreams aren't nightmares, but messages? Or worse, warnings? If you've had a dream like this, you're not crazy. You're not alone. You're part of something bigger. Stay awake. And whatever you do, don't look away when the light comes. It started happening more often. First once a year, then every few months, until one night I woke up crying with my shirt drenched in sweat, but no memory of what had caused it. Just the same humming, the same feeling that something had been inside my mind and had just left. I thought I was losing it. So I started writing things down, recording voice memos. And that's when I realized something horrifying. The dreams weren't repeating. They were building. Each one added a piece, a face, a symbol, a sensation. It was like something was trying to reconstruct itself inside my head and using my dreams as the blueprint. And I wasn't the only one. Hundreds of people online described the same pattern. Repeating dreams that felt too real, waking up at the same time every night, 3:33 a.m., hearing voices inside the dream, but knowing they weren't their own, glimpses of strange rooms, operating tables, alien beings, always the same black eyes and long limbs, and worst of all, a blank space right before waking up, like something had been cut out. That's when I found out about screen memories. In abduction psychology, a screen memory is a false image implanted into the mind to cover up a traumatic or unexplainable experience. Instead of remembering the operating table, you see an owl in your bedroom. Instead of a ship, you see a bright light or a tunnel. Something familiar, harmless, just long enough for your mind to explain it away. But the real memory is still there, hidden, waiting. Dr. David Jacobs, who's worked with hundreds of abductees, says most people don't remember abductions at all, not at first. But the clues are always there. The recurring dream, the unexplained injuries, the irrational fear of certain lights or sounds. In many cases, the memory only returns through hypnosis, and what's uncovered is almost always the same: paralysis, forced examination, emotional manipulation, and the overwhelming presence of beings who don't communicate with words, but with thoughts. And here's where the psychology gets terrifying. Because trauma doesn't always come through blood and bruises. Sometimes, trauma enters the mind without leaving a mark. A study in 2014 by Harvard psychologists found that the brain responds to traumatic dream content the same way it responds to physical assault. The same cortisol spikes, the same memory fragmentation, the same inability to describe what happened. It's PTSD without a visible wound. So what if alien dreams are actually fractured memories of something that really happened? Something your conscious mind refuses to acknowledge, but your subconscious keeps trying to replay. What if your dreams aren't trying to scare you? They're trying to warn you? I spoke with a woman from Scotland who said she had the same alien dream for 16 years. It always ended the same way, with her being shown a floating child that had her eyes, but wasn't human. Then one day, she woke up and realized she'd seen that face before, in a hospital, during a miscarriage she was told had been complicated. She remembered something the doctor said. There was tissue we couldn't identify. She hadn't dreamed it. She had just forgotten. The question is, who made her forget? And why are so many people dreaming about things they've never seen? Places they've never been, creatures they've never imagined, yet still recognize. These aren't random fragments. They're pieces of a puzzle someone doesn't want us to finish. Because if they can control your dreams, they can control you. What if dreams aren't just reflections of your mind, but entry points? What if the sleep state is the one time your consciousness is open, unprotected, and easy to manipulate, and something has been using that window for a very long time? This is the theory more and more researchers, abductees, and experiencers are starting to believe. That alien dreams aren't just about memory or trauma. They're part of a larger system, a psychic experiment, a protocol. Because if you look at these dreams closely, a terrifying pattern emerges. First, the dreams begin as random, unsettling images, a presence, maybe lights. Then they start to repeat. Slight changes, something watching, a shadow at the edge of your bed. Eventually, they become interactive. The figure moves, the light touches you. A voice, not heard but understood, begins to communicate. And then comes the test. Many abductees report that over time, the dreams become more emotional. They're shown horrifying scenes, given impossible choices, offered glimpses of futuristic worlds, or shown Earth in ruins. Some are told they're special. Others are warned. Why? Why would an alien intelligence insert itself into our dreams only to deliver these intense, emotional simulations? According to Dr. Carla Turner, an abduction researcher who investigated dozens of high strangeness cases, aliens don't just observe emotions, they provoke them. Grief, awe, terror, even euphoria. She believed these dreams weren't just for study, but conditioning. That something or someone is using our dreams to mold our beliefs, erode our sense of reality, and possibly prepare us for a psychological transformation. Think about it. If you wanted to influence a species without being detected, would you land ships in the sky and risk war? Or would you go where no one can protect themselves, into their sleep, and gently, slowly, reshape their sense of truth? Many abductees report that after a lifetime of these dreams, their values start to shift. They feel more connected to space, less human, more detached from society. Some even claim they've been shown instructions in the dream, blueprints, knowledge downloads, future technology, but forget it as soon as they wake up. A man in Arizona told me he started dreaming in symbols he couldn't understand, until one day he recognized them carved on a stone in a UFO documentary. He'd never seen them before, but he knew what they meant. Another woman said her dreams began to infect her waking life. She'd see flashes of tall beings in mirrors, hear a voice whispering her name just as she was falling asleep. One night, her nose started bleeding, and when she went to the ER, the doctor removed a small metallic shard lodged in her nasal cavity. She had no memory of how it got there, but she remembered the dream. She was on a table, and someone was watching. So what if these dreams are more than dreams? What if they're data gathering simulations? What if they're rehearsals for contact? Or worse, for replacement? The same dream, shared across cultures, across decades, across continents. The same faces, the same light, the same silence. This isn't a myth. This is a pattern. A global, psychological fingerprint left on the human mind by something that isn't human. And maybe they're not just watching, maybe they're instructing, preparing. Because if they can map our fears, replicate our emotions, hijack our dreams, they might be closer to replicating us. In the end, The question isn't whether these alien dreams are real. It's, why are we all having them now? Because dreams may be the first battlefield, and the real invasion might already be inside your head. If you've had a dream like this, you are not alone. Comment below, share your story, and subscribe to Alien Psyche, because we're just getting started. In the next series, we'll uncover the link between hybrid children, emotional hijacking, and the terrifying truth about who's really dreaming through us. Stay awake and watch the skies, but more importantly, watch your mind.